In the ninth, Tommy Byrne is only an out away from victory. And it's all over when Hodges goes down swinging. The Yankees win 4-2 and lead in the series 2-0.
In the autumn of our innocence, late September's legions came alive to wage real but bloodless civil war in that World Series of '55.
Berra, who has been a continual threat at the plate with 9 base hits to his credit, opens the New York fourth with a fly to short left center, and it drops for a double between Gilliam and Snider. But Padres...
It's amazing that it's still remembered the way it is.
It was a slower paced time of life.
We never thought the Yankees were better than us. They just seemed to win the odd game.
We keep going, we're going to do it. We're going to win sometime.
This is a story of one era not yet over and another not yet begun, and of how 2 baseball teams came to represent the hopes and dreams of a nation in transition. It is the tale of how an ordinary group of men faced extraordinary circumstances and came together to triumph over adversity. This is the story of 1955 and the World Series between the New York Yankees and the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I always contend that baseball is just really a reflection of society.
Over 20 years of hard times, years of depression, war, and death, had blossomed into peace at last. And now our nation caught its breath.
At the beginning of 1955, after the Great Depression and 2 wars, America was enjoying a well-deserved period of peace and prosperity.
Life in the 50s was laid back. Today, everything's rush, rush, rush.
Mom, apple pie, and baseball.
If you listen to old broadcasters from radio days, the pace is very slow. You think, gee, is that the way it was? Because now today we got this rapid fire, we got all this fill, we got all this personal stuff going on. So I think the pace of life was different.
Thanks to the GI Bill, millions of Americans who served in the military were afforded the opportunity to go to college. This sparked an explosion in the growth of employees known as white-collar workers.
It seemed like, you know, $50 a week salary working got me as much as it does today.
But labor jobs were plentiful as well. In working-class communities, a factory job often meant a lifetime of steady work at decent wages, and baseball players were no exception.
These guys, they were not making big salaries. We had to work in the off-season. We had to get jobs. You were a star in Brooklyn, you got to get a job in the wintertime.
A lot of them worked in factories, a lot of them worked in farms, a lot of them worked in local stores. Yogi Berra worked in a, automobile dealership. Phil Rizzuto worked as a clothing salesman.
I had 2 jobs. I sold cars and sold television sets in the off-season.
My first full year, I made $140 a month. Now, when I tell this to people, they say, you mean $140 a week? I said, no. 140 a month. But at that time, we thought we were millionaires making $140 a month playing baseball.
Players had to make a living from October through March. So the relationship between the fans and the players was much more connected.
Whether they were pencil pushers or pipe fitters, most Americans were united by a single passion, the game of baseball. And in 1955, 2 teams, more than any others, came to represent the competing values of blue and white collar workers, the New York Yankees and the Brooklyn Dodgers.
The Yankees represented business interests, and they were corporate America. We were blue collar Brooklyn.
One team of men was held the gem of all who played this diamond game. They wore pinstripes of big business and showed accounts in Prophet's name, Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio. Some of baseball's undisputed best had passed their dominant tradition on to Mantle, Berra, and the rest.
There is a saying that goes, nothing succeeds like success. And those 4 words perfectly describe the American League's New York Yankees.
You know, Yankees were a great club, and anyone who would try to say they weren't would be very, very crazy.
I always avoid saying this Yankee team was lucky. They weren't lucky. They were an outstanding professional group, and they always seemed to get the right thing out of the right people.
It was a Yankee way of doing things. There was really a cold corporate image that the Yankees projected, but the bottom line was they were there to win.